What's good? What's good in the hood? It's your boy Carcino. And if you hadn't seen the Jordan Poole, his father, and Klay Thompson video, don't know what to tell you, but sorry about that. Should have saw it. It's on YouTube. Go watch that Draymond video, then come back and respond to this. Or check this out and it would make more sense. It would be more conclusive as we will explain. There has been big secrets brewing in the Golden State Warriors facility. Oh, buddy boy, buddy boy, buddy boy. During that championship year, when Poole came back to the team, Damien Lee, Wiggins, and Gary Payton II. Those four guys were all blended in together and became like brothers. That was their brotherhood. And Klay was working himself back to being Klay Thompson that everybody knew and loved. He wanted to be that guy. Splash Brother. He had been gone for 2 years. But he was the main guy in the ear of Jordan Poole, giving him encouragement. This was his young boy. He hung out with him, saying, hey, you one of us. We gonna need you. Bringing him up. But Klay felt threatened that he was going to be the replacement for Klay Thompson. And Klay was not willing to yield that over to Jordan Poole. Even though it was like, it's positionless. We all could be in there. Jordan Poole, the fans said, Poole needs to be starting. We got to bench Klay Thompson. Well, that just wasn't going to happen. No matter how bad he played, Klay Thompson, unless due to injury, was not to be benched by Kirk. Kirk can't even make that decision. The Splash Brothers must be on the court. So, this was a titanic shift because during the season, Poole was playing incredible. Then the pressures of the playoff came, and he struggled in the playoffs. People don't remember that shit, but he struggled in the playoffs. Poole was forcing shots, taking inadvertent shots. After the first round of the playoffs, he was struggling. But see, nobody remembers that when you win the championship. They don't remember those games. I do. Poole made a critical error in the game when they lost against Boston. When Boston came back and got the victory and Poole shot like an air ball to like end the game and had the chance to win the game at the end, the world was coming down on Poole. He had struggled, and this is the NBA Finals against Boston. He had struggled in the first 2 games. He was absolutely terrible. Then came the next 4 games where everybody forgot about the first 2. And a punch by Draymond that got him $160 million. That's right. One punch, $160 million. Now, you start to add those things up and said, okay, I get it now. Oh, I gets it now. Oh, I see where they going with this. Now comes the problem. Bob Myers and Draymond, they, you know, it was a business decision and it was tough. When do you break up the three amigos? Steph, Clay, and Dre deserve to retire Warriors. They deserve that honor. Who turned this franchise into a $1 billion franchise. This was a team that was a small market team. Small market teams don't usually turn themselves into a mega powerhouse of the entire league. It don't happen. Even when the Sacramento Kings was winning and playing against the Lakers to see who the best team in the West, they were still a small market team. When the Minnesota Timberwolves was number one in the Western Conference, they were still a small market team. The Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis and winning an NBA championship is still a small market team. The Golden State Warriors, they were international. They were everywhere. People didn't even care. They was like, dude, you was rooting for the Suns last year. Dog, it's about Steph. They got on Warriors gear. Every city you went to, since the Chicago Bulls, there have been no team greater than the Golden State Warriors as marketing. Let that be known. Now, let's talk about it. The real issue started to ensue once Damien Lee, his homeboy, and Poole had Poole used to have these parties, right? They started saying pool party and all that. So he had a little party, like by the pool for the players to relax and all this. Steph didn't show up. Clay, I think, did Clay show up? I don't think Clay did. But Steph didn't show, and that's noticeable. Steph got his own stuff to be doing. Damien Lee showed up. A couple of the guys that's there showed up. Now, this is going on in the off season, right? They're NBA champions. Poole arrogance now is at an all-time high. He knows he's about to get a big deal. His contract, his agent has got his head blown up like, this is it. You did it. You went from the G League to $100 million deal. So, of course, he's feeling himself. He's feeling very arrogant. There's no weirder feeling than having money to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And you don't know what to do next. That is a weird feeling. Now, with that being said, let's take it to the next level. What is the next outcome of everything that you're hearing right now? Well, it's quite simple. You have a situation brewing on your hands that other people just don't seem to get or grasp. Now, when you look at the brass tacks of the situation, you start to say to yourself, well, damn, I guess this is it. There's nothing to do here. I don't know what else to say. So people keep making up things and don't know what to say next. But the realisticness of it is the arrogance started to weigh, and Damien Lee and Poole had said words to each other. What was said, I have no idea. But it was not a cool thing. And then Damien Lee was not coming back to the team. Poole has yet to be signed. Damien Lee was still a Warrior at this moment in time. It wasn't official that he was be going someplace else yet. Like a lot of people thought that he's not going to go anywhere. He's still going to be on the team in some type of capacity, but that wasn't to be. So Steph, whenever he saw Poole, he was cool with him. He was actually cool. But the situation turned to a difference when these two boys who were closer than close decided that they were going to like not be as close anymore. Like it was a little bit more distance between the two. And Poole's cockiness was just at an all-time high. So Damien Lee came along and basically is playing for the bare minimum with the Warriors. Now, Steph is trying to stay out of, what he called brother-in-law situations. Damien Lee is married to Steph's sister. He's best friends. Okay? Best friends with Jordan Poole. But Steph and Jordan Poole are not really close like that. Steph has a lot of responsibility. He does a lot of different moving around and things of that nature. Now, here's the situation on his hands that he's dealing with right now. The thing that's on his hands is huge. And let me tell you what it is. Steph and Jordan Poole, Steph took time and said, doing shoot around workouts, they're getting ready for the season. He's like, hey, you need anything, to help out or whatever. Like it was once they won the championship, Jordan Poole was more in his graces. Like, all right, I could trust you out there. Like I trust you, bro. Like out there on the court. I trust you. Once the punch hit and in free agency, the Warriors let Gary Payton II go. Damien Lee left. And like right before the 4th of July, he signed a deal and it was cool. He was going to go to the Phoenix Suns. So they was going to still see each other a lot and he was still going to be close to the Bay. Close out there to Golden State and everything else. So his family wouldn't have to like get up and move around. He's in Phoenix, so he's close by. Steph is a little upset that they couldn't find a way to keep Damien on the Warriors. Bob Myers couldn't find a way to make that work. But when the punch happened and they gave Jordan Poole $160 million, and they put a lot of pressure on Steph, Dre apologized for putting Steph in that situation because Steph and, his brother-in-law is Damien Lee. And then you punch Poole. Now Damian Lee ain't there no more, but they still was tight. Even though they had some words prior to this, they was still tight. Like that, he still looked at him like that's my boy and all that. But Steph never really came to the aid of Poole the way he did. Poole was arrogant that whole camp before the punch came through. And the shoot arounds, the workouts, everything. He was like, it's his team. He was acting different. So Dre, Steph, and Clay, all of those guys fell back really from Poole. And it was a whole different type of season. They was like, look, we need you, pumping them up on the back, but they weren't fam no more. Like, they weren't close. He became the distant cousin. So the whole team was basically on Draymond's side, except for people like Kevon Looney and other players who was there was like, nah, Draymond, you wrong. And Kevon Looney went against the entire Warrior staff, and he was shocked Steph didn't take up for Jordan Poole like that when the punch happened. That's because he was talking a lot of crap on the court, and Steph was telling him before the punch even happened, hey, youngin, yeah, play ball. Just play ball. Focus on the game. Let's play ball. Let's play ball. He kept having to tell him that. And Jordan Poole just keep running off at the mouth like, man, please. Like talking not to Steph, but to Dre and everybody else who's talking it out there on the court. Now, no. It's the Warriors was running plays. They were running some set plays. Jordan Poole would blow up the play and do what basically he was doing in the playoffs and start shooting 40-foot threes. And once it went in, he was like, it went in. It went in, though. It went in. You ain't in trouble if it go in. Like I got the green light to go one-on-one and shoot a 40-foot jumper now. And he was like, yeah, but you need to know how to run the plays. That's why we're here, to learn the plays and run the sets. You see, the Warriors run plays, but they change their sets. They change their signals because other players get traded. They go to other teams. They give the other teams your secrets. And that's why they even pick up players. That's why LeBron James would go pick up players from like Golden State. He'd be like, play from Golden State, right? That's why they brought Juan Toscano over to the team, and he was supposed to help them with their sets and their plays. But he never really was on the court that much with the first unit. He was only really with the second unit. So when the first unit was out there, it didn't really help. You know, it didn't help the Lakers as much. But that's how he was moving. So Steph Curry didn't come to his aid. Poole noticed that and was really pissed off with Steph. So he felt like he was by himself with him, Kevon Looney, and Andrew Wiggins. Then Andrew Wiggins had a situation that we all know about now, right? And he got up and left the team for 2 months. And everybody's like, whoa, how can he leave for 2 months? But I got to sit here and endure all this. And now I done lost one of my main guys that got my back. He's just miserable. And he told his dad, because Poole is a very emotional human being. Like, he's more on the brink of what you would call a murder homicide or taking his own life than Wiggins is. Poole is even worse. He gets down on himself. If he has a bad game, they gotta like pat him on the back. Come on, man. Come on. Don't fall apart. He is not mentally strong as people think. And when this happened, the Warriors went into a free flux. And as they see, they're missing out on rebounds that they did have when they had Gary Payton Jr. Gary Payton told them, man, y'all should have let that Poole guy go. And I ain't saying keep my son because he my son. I'm just saying, just don't think Poole won the championship because of him. Like Gary Payton II played a huge part in that on the rebounding, aspect of it as a guard, battling big men for the boards. Him and Wiggins were like the board patrol. So they were getting crushed on the boards. Now you have an even darker situation brewing because now you got a situation where this human being that's in front of you don't even know if you could trust him now. So Gary GP seen that from the jump. And, he's always been around the Warriors staff. He talked to the coaches and was like, y'all made a mistake signing homeboy. And he's like, I'm going to tell you that now, man. He might not get out of this flux. And through the season, he'll have one outstanding game. And then he would go into a subpar game and they'd be like, oh, here comes the Jordan Poole from the finals. And there he is. He's arrived. And he would go in this cycle. Oh, he had a worst game you've ever seen. Bounce back, have a super game, and then go right back. It was so inconsistent. And it was this whirlwind. It was dividing the Warriors' patience with Jordan Poole. Because Steph is out there so many times, and during the season, Steph had to come talk to him because he wasn't listening to Draymond Green. Draymond's like, come on, pick it up. We got to go. He's not even listening. He's just like blocking it out. And then he said it again like, dog, you only got to tell me once. And then he tried to talk to him one time. He just pushed him away because he's hard on himself. He ain't mad at Dre. He just don't want to hear it. He gets to that point like he knows it. Just anybody telling him again, he just don't want to hear it. He one of those kids, So that's the clip you see where Steph goes over and talk to him and starts talking to him because he has a bad attitude. Like it comes off as a bad attitude. It's negative for the group. So him and Steph wasn't vibing at all. Steph wouldn't let him get close at all no more. He just don't know about trusting him on the court. But Steph would give him the ball if he's open. Steph would pass it to him. He know he got the ability to do it. And Clay's trying to talk to him and everything else. And Poole thinks like, all right, yeah, he's not the same Clay he used to be when before I got the money. Now that I got the money, now he resent me because I got the money and he might be on his way out. He's listening to these like internet and people on the chat. Poole is a mess right now, so his head isn't right. He just wanted to get out of there. And he needed to get out of there. He didn't want to be there before the playoffs started. He was hoping that he would be traded off the team because he looked at it like, I don't know, man, I just got to deal with this till Draymond's gone at the end of the year. Just deal with it. Draymond will be gone at the end of the year, then things will go to normal. But it's the rest of the team now. They really don't know, like, why did we sign this guy? And this was Bob Myers' idea for choosing Poole over Draymond Green, really. And we didn't lost Gary Payton II. We lost Damien Lee. Why is Payton II here? And so they traded to get Payton II back on the team. Told us everything we needed to know. When they got Gary Payton II back on the Warriors in that season, they knew what they made a mistake, and they're trying to readjust this mistake right now. Brother-in-law, Steph was, hurt. He wasn't on the team no more, but he can eat that. What he can't eat and what he wasn't going to stand for was they just lost Gary Payton II for basically no reason. Like, they could have kept him for the season, and he take a lot of pressure off them on the boards and helping out with the rebound and everything. Now, the problem that they are faced with at this junction is they've made the decision that Draymond is in, Poole is out. They've come to this realization. The unit is not the unit anymore. The whole team right now is in disarray. They not in disarray, they in disarray. And because of that, everybody now is a problem. Seriously, everybody's a problem. They were not a unit, and they damn sure came together though for the playoffs. They pulled it together, and they really should have lost to the Kings. That was a screw job, but then they just got screwed out of the Lakers series with all them damn free throws. This is what it became. So it wasn't a Draymond Green situation. It was basically the majority of the team didn't like Jordan Poole, and he had to go. Draymond proved he's way more valuable to the team than Jordan Poole. And that's just that. Steph wants Draymond on the team. He takes a lot of, Draymond filled in a lot of the check marks on the boxes, where Poole does not. And Steph don't want to go through another season like that. Can't waste his years. So they thought he would be a successor for Steph, but that is not the case. Back to the drawing board. So yeah, it was much bigger than Draymond's punch, but Draymond's punch just highlighted what the major problem was. And the problem was Poole. He had to go. And it wasn't because of Dre. You ain't getting along with Steph, you out of there. Listen to Steph he was traded for about a month. And then he talking about some now that the trade is final. He was already finalized. Trade been finalized for about a month. He was already in Washington, everything. And Steph sitting over there, they made him have to say, goodbye to Poole and all that. He ain't want to do that video. Look at him.